Now explain this to me. How is it that KABAR can go across the pond over to Europe to our friends in the Czech Republic and build a fully upgraded heavy-hitting field knife with no need to upgrade handle scales or buy sheath components separately, and then releasing it currently only to the European market, but then what feels like nickel and diming us US customers that have built their brand over the decades by releasing these newer American designs with slick polymer handles that are not enjoyable to use and therefore require an upgrade, and then coming with polymer sheaths that have zero way to attach to a belt, and they expect us to buy an a la carte upgrade so that we can actually carry them in the field. And I'm looking at you, KABAR Slabby and Cool Name, which means an extra investment in time and money to build out an American-made KABAR to run like this A&V Knives collaboration KNX 01 does right out of the box. And so to all you European viewers, I'm pretty jealous that you're getting a much better setup out of the box than what I've been able to get 4 years from KABAR. And so today we're going to be unpacking not only what the KNX 01 brings to the table just as a knife, how it performs, how does it compare to some A&V knives, to other KABARs, and some other US 1095 blades, and really discussing what we would like to see in the future as Americans from this American company in their fixed blade lineup. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in and talk some blades. I want to make a few things clear. First, this is just my opinion. It's my perspective. You need to make your own decisions and come to your own conclusions. It's just an opinion of some random dude who likes messing around with knives in his backyard and out here in the great outdoors. Number two, I'm not anti-KABAR, please hear me. They make some good tools, but the perspective to me is that in the last few years, they kind of lost their way somehow with some of these recent drops. And I know it can be easily rectified because we're looking at a knife that is a banger. If you are looking for an aggressive, like field utility combat knife, there is a lot that this KNX 01 brings to the table. Now, what KABAR has done to create this knife is partner up with one of the co-founders of ANV, or Acta Non-Verba Knives, out of the Czech Republic, and then it would appear that they basically took the side dimensions of the ANV Knives P250, basically done differently, is offered a 6.5 millimeter or 1/4 of an inch thick stock on a full flat grind. So that's going to help with edge geometry for how thick it is. I'm trying to annotate in all this stuff for both imperial and metric systems for us here. And then 12 centimeters, 12.1 centimeters is the blade length, right? So those attributes coming together mean that it's not heavy, but it's definitely not a lightweight blade. It's super robust. And then they're using KABAR's Crovan 1095 steel, but they've decided to HRC this to 60 on the hardness scale, which is harder, theoretically better edge retention, possibly more brittle than what KABAR has been known for years on all the Beckers and all those other things. And really ask the question, is about time KABAR upgraded that 1095 steel to a better edge retention. But before we get to that, it is time to highlight the sponsor of today's video, which is VAER watches. Now, I'm coming up on 2 years of using these tactical field watches, taking them on all kinds of different outdoor adventures and excursions, and seeing really how well built they really are. But what's one of my favorite attributes is that many of their watches, including the one I have on my wrist today, their C5 solar power tactical field watch, is assembled right here in the USA by their American workforce, which, if you know anything about timepieces, it's pretty rare that anything is built here in America any longer. And then they're using and sourcing some of the best Japanese solar movements to put into these watches. And with less than a day of ambient light, you can get up to 6 months of life on the watch, meaning that you have basically perpetual power on one of their solar watches. And then, of course, built with a 316 stainless steel body and a sapphire crystal over the face that when I've dragged knife blades across them, just shrugs it off like it wasn't even there. So many different cool styles to choose from. And if you've never ordered from them before, When you click the link provided below in the description box or popping up right here, you'll be prompted with a 10% off your first order, helping you guys just save a little extra cash, making them excellent for a timepiece that is classic, great for gifts, and everywhere in between to help you or a loved one stay on time for all of your adventures. Now it's time for the blade action. Let's get some bushcraft done. We're gonna split down some wood. Now this is obviously thick enough, it should easily be able to handle it. We're coming up in basically a BK2. There we go. Master of disaster. Oh yeah. You don't need, you know, a bushcraft knife to do bushcraft building, you know, things. It just makes it easier. It usually makes it easier, right? But it doesn't mean it can't be done. And as long as the tool is well built. I mean, could have carved a notch with like a Mora like that? Yeah, probably. I mean, this is just another way to do it. So this is doing fine. It's not mind blowing. It's not blowing my mind. You know, I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's so good. But I'm able to engage, and if I had to, could totally get a bundle. I mean, give me 3 of these and a fire steel, and we're gonna get a fire ground, no problem. So I'm pretty pleased with the 60 HRC. It's not chippy, it's not damaging the edge in any way. I didn't have any brittleness. I am definitely noticing a little bit of a longer spell between resharpenings and the need to put a honed edge back on the blade. So that's a nice upgrade, and I'll take it. If I don't have to resharpen it quite as often, I'm here for it. Now to the first big upgrade that comes right out of the box that I cannot remember having on a USA made KABAR, and it is that it comes with contoured, ribbed, beautifully done Micarta handle scales. I mean, these things are banging. They feel great in the hand, give you a good texture without it being aggressive. You know, obviously if it gets wet, it's gonna get more fibrous and feel better in the hand. It's got kind of almost this like, it's not red, but kind of like this redwood look to it. Very contoured, matching to a crown spine. I mean, it's delicious in ergonomics if you're looking for an aggressive blade. This blade is obviously purpose built for piercing, stabbing, slashing because of the super deep guard up front, locking into place the blocky jimping that's not hot, thankfully, and then the glass breaker out the back, and just some other attributes. And of course, if I do need to hunker down and get some bushcraft done, it's usable. Is it enjoyable? Not longer than about 2 minutes, but I can get it done. And just imagine if KABAR had shipped the slabby with like etched handle scales like you can get through Lucas Carroll and Carroll Customs. I mean, he did an awesome job with those Micarta handles, and they look like the leather stacking, but you bolt them on. Or if the cool name had come with some sort of G10 or, you know, some sort of different Micarta textured, you know, things of that nature, how much better than the slick polymers or even the Beckers? Imagine if just the Beckers started getting shipped, or a couple of the new variants with Micarta. I would be absolutely ecstatic. And then we got to follow that up with the KNX sheath that comes with molly locks so that you can run them through PALS webbing or your belt. Unlike on the cool name and the slabby that just were like, hey, here's your sheath. Well, how do I put it on my belt? Oh, you want that? Well, we have this cool new adapter we created, and it's like, I can't remember, 25, 35, 45 bucks. I don't know. I'll try and run a screenshot. That you should, you know, that's how you put it on your belt. Well, wait, so now I have to spend more? Or I have to go buy a blade tech lock or my own molly locks or whatever. So I hope they change that moving forward with any future releases that KABAR drops. I don't think that's too much to ask, but leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Now here's where the rubber really meets the road in value for you in Europe, for us here in the States. Now throughout the video, I have links popping up. They're in the description box below as well to all the blades we're talking about. I bought this through knivesandtools.com. It's a European distributor, so it ships throughout Europe, but then they will ship to the United States. And I do want to give a shout out to our Patreon members, because in part with their support gives me the ability to buy blades like this that you may not normally see here on the channel, and then show all of us what they're capable of. And so if you want to check that out, that's also popping up in the description box, where you can join the community over there, support, you get behind the scenes stuff, early bird information. I mean, my Patreon members knew about this knife and my opinion on it months and months ago. So a really cool community we're building over there, and I invite you to join. Now, this blade is going for 150 euros, which translates to roughly about $173, $74. We'll say 175. For us here in the States, before shipping fees and tariffs or things of that nature, and that's going to be very important for us here in the States in a moment. But for those of you in Europe, that sounds like a pretty good value, especially when on knives and tools, an SE4 is going for like 168.99 euros, and a Becker BK2 with no micarta handle and a nylon sheath is going for like 155 euros. But here's the kicker. I had to pay $30 to ship, about $30 in fees to get it to my door. Making this thing now more like, what, $230, $240 US for me to start using this blade. And now the value just starts to slip away, especially if we look at the A&V Knives P250 made in Czech Republic, sporting Sleipner steel, which is kind of in the D2 family. It's a semi-stainless tool steel. I love it. It has performed excellent on several A&V knives, and I would choose it over 1095. We're going to get a little bit lighter because it's 0.2 on the stock thickness. It does have a lower saber grind with a dedicated swedge all the way along. So this is definitely more of a combat focused knife than this. This is kind of crossover. This is straight up, you know, piercing, utility, things of that nature. Now, it does have polymer handles, but they're contoured and ribbed. So I prefer micarta, but if we're going to do polymer, this is like one of the best you're going to find. And KABAR, if you're not going to go away from polymers here in the States, do something like this, contour it, rib it, then we're going to be a lot more forgiving of what the scales feel like. So this currently, like on Knife Center, Blade HQ, last I checked, it was like 160 and some change with similar KNX sheath. And because A&V Knives is a Czech company, those are also easily accessible in Europe. And then for an all-American option, I have here the newly released White River made for Ontario Knife Company. Yes, OKC went out of business, the name got bought up by another American distributor, and now White River is making the Ranger series for them out of USA 1095, 58 to 60, HRC, previously reviewed, I'll try and link that video. Textured micarta, saber grind, about 0.2, maybe 0.22 on the stock thickness. Phenomenal KNX sheath. Basically a very similar kind of ideaed knife, very similar in size to what you're getting with the KNX. But here in the States, you can pick these up for like 160, 170. And it's got everything you would want. No need to upgrade any pieces or parts. And ultimately, this is what I want to see from KABAR here in the States. I want to see their US manufacturing looking like this, having this type of fit and finish, this type of higher HRC potentially on the Crovan, micarta handles, KNX sheaths without having to upgrade for some sort of belt attachment, just giving us base. I mean, we can just do this. These are super inexpensive, but very functional. And then if I want to upgrade more, that's fine, then I'll do that. But if they can do that and keep it currently in the current market under $200, I think a lot of KABAR fans are going to be pumped that they don't have to do a la carte 50 other things and jack up the prices well over the $200 mark. That's me. That's my mileage. I hope that we see that from KABAR in future years, but I want to know from you guys, what's your take? What's your thoughts? Always appreciate your guys' feedback. Thanks for hanging with me. And until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.